Welcome back to another episode of Just My Baby Daddy podcast. It's your favorite baby daddy, AJ. And today, so we see a lot. We see family content on social media, right? But I'm gonna be honest, some of it seems like real scripted, not really real family oriented, real family content. Well, that's not gonna happen today. Because who we have today, we have content creator I've been following for a while and his family, and it's perfect for this podcast because he got another baby on the way. So for this introduction, we have our guy, MrJRegis. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, doing well. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate your time. And I'm gonna get right to it and start you off the same we start everybody else off. What does it mean to you to be a father?
Man, I think what it means to me to be a father is an artist. You have a blank canvas to create and mold a individual to exactly to a version of the person that you want to be. I think the first thing I think of is Picasso, right? I think of creating or just molding and as a guide to be the best version. So I think is as a father, I look at somebody as a creator. I look at somebody as a guide, and I look at it as a huge responsibility that I'm willing to take on. So that's how it would summarize it there.
So when you say someone to mold, who helped mold you into a father?
Absolutely, great question. I would say, well, I was raised from a two-family household. I'm a Haitian, first generation Haitian American. So I was born and raised by two immigrant parents that, migrated to Queens, New York, and, figure things out, right? With nothing, they build up a dynasty. They have, I'm the baby of three. I have a brother, older brother. I have a sister, and then it's me. All college graduate, all married. So I would say my parents were the example, the foundation to what the American dream is. So I would say my parents, mainly my father, I think as well. My father was extremely active. I think watching him showed me what a real man looks like. In our household, in the Caribbean household, for one, let me say this, it wasn't just my immediate family, right? So when somebody asks me, well, what about your immediate family? It's always hard for me to answer because I lived with grandma,
Uh, right.
uncle, cousin, 6 different cousins. So for me, it was a little different, right? So that is my immediate family. You talk about the people that I was raised with, that's what immediate family means to me. But I say this to say my dad never asked for a dime, but he worked very, very hard, nurtured, took care of the house, and just made sure everything was running smoothly. So I think when I think about a father, I think about my dad. He was a great example, God fearing man, and yeah,
So to that, because I've had a lot of guests that come from different backgrounds,
yeah,
and we all here in America now, so we just think of, oh, family this, family that, certain type of way. But
yeah,
what was it like to have that atmosphere when you're growing up with everybody is really just a family and everybody's in the household?
yeah. Well, I think it was a great experience. We went to the same schools. We were around the same age as well, so it wasn't like we would share each other's clothes. It wasn't. It was my norm. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know that. Like, it wasn't until I got married I realized that even if you got a one bedroom apartment, you shouldn't have somebody on your couch. Like that for me, that like a family comes into town, I never felt comfortable putting them in a hotel or putting them in that. It was always just very close knit. Like even like when somebody would make food, they would never make it for self. They would make it for the house, right? So I think a lot of that experience taught me how to be one selfless and be open to giving, and sharing. So it's like I think for me, it was again as an adult, I had to find out that that wasn't regular, that wasn't normal. All my life, I'm like, oh, like everybody goes through this, like everybody shares, everybody does. Nah, that's just what I thought.
Yeah. So when did you realize that it wasn't the norm? You said as an adult, right? So that
Yeah,
means your wife came into play.
Yeah, so even so, I would say in college as well, throughout my time, I was very, I pledged a fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, and throughout my time,
We don't pledge.
huh?
We got to correct that. Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated is a non-pledging
No,
organization.
and
It's
so
not
my
a non-head. Yes, we are a non-hazing organization. Let's
part.
get that clear before anybody starts saying some shit. Let's get that clear.
That
Yeah,
part.
let's get that
So
clear. Yeah.
I crossed as 14, and my line brothers and I think I started to realize the difference in just upbringing, right? Like, when I went to a HBCU, Norfolk State University, shout out to the bold, the green and gold. I realized that Black people weren't a monolith, for one, right? All of our experiences were completely different, right? We had some people from Trenton, New Jersey. We had some people from 757, some people from North Carolina, Georgia, wherever, but they all experienced life completely different than the other. So I think, you know, coming together, I learned that I'm like, oh, oh, you didn't experience what I experienced. And I'm learning from you some of them had a big house in Suffolk, Virginia. Like, I'm talking about huge. And I'm like, whoa, this is big. And it's just y'all like, again, culture shock for me. But I would say as I matriculated through life, meeting my wife, it got more personal, like you know, behind closed doors, where just learning differences, going through premarital counseling about, understanding our upbringing, right? And who did we look at for what? And how did we, like, our perspectives, all of that came into play when, getting together and making the decision to bring our families together. So learning that was a learning curve, right? For me, just because I think I prioritize family so much. My wife does too, but her family's a lot smaller, right? So when they talk about immediate family, she can probably reach for each one of them, but for me, it's like I don't have enough hands. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
the way my mind works is just a lot different.
So with coming from a family of that nature, that's it can go one of two ways. So did that make you always want to have your own family, or that can go the other way? Is like I'm tired of all these people all around. Like kids is because I know somebody like that too. Is like I come from a big family. This is not what I want. I don't want this at all. So
Funny
how was it for you?
I think that was me. I think that was me, because even for me, like, I left my home very early on, right? I think I left at 16, moved to Atlanta. From Atlanta, I went back to New York for a year, then went off to college and never turned back. And I think for me, it's not that I think I enjoyed the sense of privacy. I enjoyed, the responsibility of just taking care of myself. I felt like I had to grow up in the city of New York. You have to grow up fast, right? So everywhere else I lived, I was running circles around everybody, right? So like when I lived in Atlanta, granted it's just, not too far away, but it's still the lifestyle is not the same, right? Like whereas I wasn't accustomed to driving, they were driving at 16. I didn't have my license until I was like 19, right? But they had it very early on, right? But so just completely different experiences. But I think moving to these different places taught me so much, right? Like it taught me, okay, I need to learn how to drive because I'm here now, right? From there, I went to DC, lived in DC for a while, had my own place, pay my own bills. So it forced me to grow and mature very, 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 very quickly. So when you ask the question, did I want my own family? I would say uh, I always wanted a family. I don't know if kids were as a part of that. I think I wanted a wife and because I think for me is I wanted to shower my wife with like as much as I possibly can. Like I like to think and just anything you think of, I like to think about it 2x. Like, how can I do this but better? Like, if I'm gonna propose, how I'm gonna propose, but with fireworks. Like that's how I think. So I always looked at it like, can I do that with kids? I don't know, right? So when I met my wife, I was just like, wait, no, I want to. create somebody like you. I wanna recreate this because the woman my wife is like I've never met a woman like her. Like she is amazing. Her and my sister are two people that I admire the most. So when it came down to if I was gonna have a kid, I wanted to have a girl. Funny enough, I was a menace to society growing up. I wanted nothing to do with a boy because I feared that if I birthed one, he would be just like me. And I was something else.
Man, man, you know what's it's funny how we have total opposite views on those two things because one, I mean, the boy thing, I kind of wanted a boy because you said they'll end up like you. I because I didn't want a girl, 'cause I didn't want her to end up like me.
Mm.
Because if a boy was to be like me, I might can reel it in some and get it together. But if a girl was to end up like me, oh my God, I can't even think for my daughter. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
No.
yeah. But you always wanted a family. You thought of a wife, but not necessarily kids. There's so many dads, including myself, that I talk to that all they think about is the children. They
Yeah.
never really thought about the wife. So for you, the kids before marriage thing was not even a consideration type of thing.
Oh, no, 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 no. Like that was like not even a thought. Like I didn't even want, the idea of possibly having somebody that I had. So for context, I have a brother that, went a different route and, had a child out of wedlock. So for me, I think for me, exposure taught me that, oh, I don't want that. Right. I'm keeping the lock on the willie, right? I'm gonna make sure I'm good. But so I think for me, experience and exposure just taught me a lot of, okay, I like this, I don't like this. I like this, I don't like that. So how can I curate the lifestyle that I want to live, right? So when it came to choosing my partner, she hit all the buckets, and then it was just like, yo, damn, like I feel like it'd be selfish of me not to give. So from one, she didn't even want kids at first either. But the way I love, we felt like our love was so strong we needed to be able to share it, right? Like so it was, I don't know, man. It's when I met her, it's like I gotta give her something that's outside of me. And that was my daughter. And my daughter is the apple of my eye. Funny enough, right? This line that Nas said in Daughters. It said, "Coldest players in the world, God gets us back. He gives us precious little girls." And I was
Mhm,
like, "Damn,
mhm,
that's why I got this one, right?" Because I ain't gonna lie, I did my dirt in the times of being single, right? I think I was a bachelor the right way. I did had a time, right? But when
yeah.
I met my wife, I realized, yeah, it's time to, it's like cut everything or slow down and be the version of yourself that you really want to be, that envisioned. So when I think about my daughter, I think about the way my dad raised my daughter, my sister, and then I'm like, yo, I can, and I look at how my wife's dad treats my wife, and I was like, damn, like the ingredients are there, right? The blueprint is there. How can I emulate this as close as possible to recreate this, right? So I felt like it was a clear road map to success. For when it came to a boy, I'm still figuring things out, right? Like I'm still, I don't think I think I'm far from perfect, right? Regardless to maybe what social media may perceive, think I don't think I'm as half of a man that I would want to be, right? For context, I'm still striving to be that. And I think until I get there, I wouldn't feel comfortable bringing somebody into the world and didn't have that sense of a roadmap or direction. So that kind of sums that up right there.
So so with all of that, how was it when you first found out you were having a child?
Well, so are you talking about the first one?
First one. We're gonna get to the second one. We definitely gonna get to the second one.
First one, it was planned. You know what I'm saying? One shot kill. Like so, it wasn't like, oh, what are we gonna do? No, it's like, okay, you want to have a kid? All right, let's go.
Baby, having baby. Hmm.
Point and shooter headshot, right? Like, so it was a decision that we made together, like, hey, this is what we want to do. Okay, let's do it. Like, so before we even did it, it was like, okay, this is gonna be her name. This is like not like I knew I wanted a girl. Okay. So it wasn't like this is his name. No, this is her name. This is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna do it. So it was like her life was damn near planned out way before she was even conceived. So when I tell you a level of organization, a level of like the thought process around it was like it was very detailed to say the least. So when it came down to conceiving, it was just like, yes, this is exactly how we wanted it to be. And it turned out exactly from, her pregnancy to having midwives to having, labor, like even just delivery was the most peaceful experience of I don't even know if that's normal. The like we had
But I'm gonna let you know right away. Everything you're saying so far is not normal. Nothing,
right?
nothing you're saying right now. Just to let you know, it's a great story. It ain't normal.
So
Like the peaceful and like I've been had three and I ain't had a peaceful one yet.
what?
So like, yeah, like no, I don't want to cut you off because this is great. Like I'm in awe. I don't this shit like nah, it ain't happen like that. Like you planned it out and all of that. The name, like, nah, not for me. Not for me. I found out just having a baby. That's kind of how it found out for me. But you said that, so you planned all of it out. So you knew you were about to be a father, but at some point it did have to hit you though. Like there's
No.
always that moment where it's like, you know what? I'm really a dad.
Oh no, 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 no,
What
100%.
what, what, what was that one?
I listen every day. I think every day, every birthday. It's to this day. My daughter just turned 4. I'm like, yo, I'm a father. Like, I have a, I have a 4-year-old, and she's talking back to me like we're having a conversation. It's like, like I have a kid, and I'm like,
Mhm.
who gave me the right to raise a child? Like my irresponsible. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, God gave me this gift to be able to, raise this person into this world. As I don't even think I'm still trying to figure out life. So it hits me every day, full transparency. But even again, even with the planning, it's not that like I doubt myself. It's just like more so like, wow, like it's more so in awe, like I have a kid. And my daughter's extremely smart. It's just like I wasn't the most, intelligent, one in the group. So,
Studious.
I would say like there's so much peace I have knowing that my daughter is going to be
Okay.
set up for success. You know what I'm saying? It's to some capacity. Like I'm thinking about like the sports I want to put her in, the like she's in ballet, like she's in Montessori school. So the investment that is going into her is like so high. And then she's accepting of it. You know what I'm saying? Some kids kind of fight it. But she's like all in. So I think to answer your question every day, right? When she comes home, she'll use a new word, she'll enunciate a little more, and like it
Mhm.
hits me every day. Um, so yeah, I think every day.
So everything just sounds just planned out perfectly, just going according to plan with your daughter. Now you have another child on the way.
Yes, I have another child on the way.
So I guess you were just laying around like, yeah, you know what? It's about time for us to have another one. Or how did that happen?
No, but so there was absolute. So I think that's the thing, right? If I could like go backwards and look at my life, a lot of the things once I like got of age, it happened because I wanted it to, right? Like it happened because I planned it for it to. I had no plans. When I say, look. Let's just say the fourth quarter was a good time. We was traveling. We were never home. We would probably be on a flight every other week and
Mhm.
going somewhere, somebody's island, somebody's state, and just having a ball. And I think that's the fruits of that, right? So like I still can't even recall when that happened. Like usually I'm like, yo, when how? Like are you like were you I like I don't know. So that's how I
Oh,
know it's like this is like almost like a miracle, but it has to be here. Like you have to be here. Because I
Just because you don't know when it happened?
I don't know when it happened. You know what I'm saying? Like we were having a lot of fun. Um, we were in December, we was in Antigua. The week before that, we were somewhere else. We was on a cruise. The week before that,
Mm,
like in November, we was this place, this pla I'm talking about we were everywhere. So I can't recall. I'm like, "Were you ovulating?" Like, and she was like, "I wasn't even ovulating, so I don't even know how this happened." So it's like, again, I plan everything. I'm very methodical. I like to think everything through. And this is one thing I just didn't. And I think what hit me the most is because I didn't have any. What I did have plans was a vasectomy. You know what I'm saying? I had that plan and it didn't go the way I had planned it to because it was for January. I found out January 1st, I was right. We was having a baby. So it's like,
do you still go? So I kind of, I was in the same situation where I was going to have mine in September, but I found out I was having a baby in January. Did that stop you or that push you back from not wanting to have it? Like,
no, so
no, it's not, or you just want to wait until, because what I ended up doing, I was making sure I waited till the baby was healthy, the baby's here, and I'm out of there. I'm done. You know what I mean? I had to get up out of there.
I think for me, I'm still gonna snap.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
and if you want to go back, you can go. You can change your mind later.
You feel me? And I think I think it's a big thing that people, a lot of men don't know. Like you can reverse that, like easy peasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you
I
can.
don't know about easy peasy, but I mean, like,
I don't know,
it's
I
like,
don't know how easy peasy it is. I don't know how easy it is to go through it. First, though, let me
yeah,
just
I know how hard a pregnancy is, though. How hard
exactly,
raising,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So
Uh,
for me, it's like which is worth my investment. Like which if I can mitigate as much risk as possible,
yeah,
go
man.
sign me up. You know what I'm saying? And I think, and it's not even that I don't enjoy being a father. I just, again, always thinking of father. I'm like, okay, one, two, three, 4 tickets on a plane. I gotta get these, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I plan a lot of like family vacations, and I'm like, okay, this is how much y'all owe, 12,000. Huh? Me? I don't have to pay that because they got one of my aunts got 5 kids. Not 5 kids. It's 5 of them in the house. They got to pay that. I'm like, so I always be thinking like, how much is this gonna cost me? And now I'm like, because and I think holistically speaking, I never wanted, when having a child, I never wanted my life to change, right? I wanted it to elevate, right? I wanted it to get better in a way where, so for example, a lot of my friends be forgetting I have kids, I have a daughter because still live life, enjoy life, like go to the gym, I do this, I do that. And again, and granted, we have support, right? We have a nanny, we have our in-laws nearby. So we have support. So it almost, there's no real difference in how life was going before and then after, right?
Yeah.
Like if we want to go take a trip, okay, we're gonna go do that. There's no afterthought like, oh, who's gonna take care of, no, we know who's gonna take care of it, right? Like when I say my in-laws, they live across the street. I mean very, we have
You have real support. You have like a real support.
and again, like we've learned that if you really want help, you got to sometimes pay for it, right? And we had an amazing. I'm talking about. I would trust this woman with my child for a month straight, which I never did. But I like alone. Like I trust
Yeah.
this woman drives 10 miles an hour. Like she's just the sweetest woman I've ever met. Older woman, and she speaks Spanish. So my daughter speaks Spanish. And so again, like amazing support system. And again, I never thought my life would change. Right now, with having a second one, just I did not. It was not part of the plan, right? So I don't know. So now I have to like reconstruct my mind about like what does it look like having another kid? You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm still working around that. And I'm still in disbelief too.
Yeah. I mean, I tell you like this: if you made it happen with one, you can make it happen with two. If your life elevated, because what your life was before, I'm pretty sure. it wasn't as elevated as it is now.
Mm.
And it just happens that way. Like, well, speaking of planning things though, maybe not everything just happens because you may have planned for certain things to happen. Because I have a question for you. Your family is on social media, including your daughter.
Is
Was
she?
that a conscious decision? She's up there.
She's
Is that a decision? Is that a decision to make sure how much you put her up there to limit the thing, or is it this is just my life, or how was that? Because your whole image is your entire your family image. So how
so funny enough, if you actually pay attention, my wife and I don't post our child as much as the average creator would, right? Or even the average person on social media, period. Not even have to be a creator, influencer, whatever.
yeah
You might find them every 8 to 9 posts, maybe 10. You know what I'm saying? So like we're very selective on how often we post her or how often we show her on the web, right? We're protective of her innocence, right? So we want to make sure that, you know, I have this fear, like this irrational fear that people will come up to her and be like, "Oh my god, I love your mother. Oh my god, I love your dad." Like, whoa, you don't know her though. She doesn't know you, and I don't want you to ever feel that comfortable walking up to my child. And I've in this once you're in the creator community, you kind of hear a lot of horror stories, and I don't want to subscribe to any of that. So we choose not to put our daughter now again, she is on socials, right?
right
But she doesn't have her own page.
right
We don't plaster her everywhere. Yes, I'm a father, right? But you'll see her like every now and then, right? Like, and I think another time was because when I was with the agency, they were saying, "Hey, you should do more of this. You should do more of this." So I started to lean into it, but I was like, I felt a little uncomfortable, right? So
yeah
they'd be like, "Hey, this is how you become more brand safe if you do this, if you do that." But I'm like, but is that the brand I'm really trying to build out? I didn't want to be Jeremiah the father. I wanted to be Jeremiah that has these attributes about him, right? So, and my wife is the same way, right? She's very vocal about that. She didn't want to be Shay the wife. She didn't want to be Shay the wife, Shay the mother. She wanted to be Shay. And I, rightfully so, I want her to be as individual as possible. So it doesn't mean like nothing has to be subtracted from her to be her or to show up the way she needs to show up. So she doesn't need like my daughter's tired. She doesn't need her to be in the video. If Gigi just so happens to hop in a video and walking past and we're taking her somewhere, we record, cool. But we don't ever want to make that a her role, a job for her. So yeah, we're trying to protect her as much as possible.
yeah. So I see. I don't really feel like I struggle with that with me because I don't really strip it. Whenever I post my daughter, it's just literally I press record and she just does something.
Yeah.
Like she always just does something. I'm like, I'll throw this one out there and just see what happens. See if anybody else sees this is as ridiculous as I do. These kids that I deal with on a day in day out basis. So with that, with the new child, is that something that you want to be? Is it something that okay, we're going to make sure we take our time before we even introduce the new child to the internet? Or
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think again, I think it's also a protection of the peace, right? Like even just knowing that, hey, we announced our pregnancy, right? There's a lot of things that come with that as well, right? Oh, people put their opinions out, or people be like, oh, I think it's this, or I think it's this gender, I think it's that gender. So
you should be doing this.
yeah, I'm saying you should be doing this, you should be doing that, and we're big on protecting our peace as much as possible. So we do keep a lot of things close. So funny enough, a lot of people think they know what really goes on, but it's mainly like 10%. You know what I'm saying? We show you 10% of what like really looks like, but we give you enough to feel close, right? To be relatable. But holistically speaking, we're very private individuals. We don't invite just anybody over to the house. It's very close knit, right? Like so, we keep a lot of things close. And when it comes to the second child, we'll probably continue that.
Okay. Yeah, because that is something I wonder all the time, especially with when it comes to family content. Like, and do you think your daughter will understand what it is that you are doing? when she gets to that age, and would you think she would want to get involved, or would you want her involved if she wanted to get involved into
I
that
think
content?
if that was something she was very passionate about, I believe I would never limit my child to do whatever she want. Like I'm a firm believer. If she wants to do that, and she has to show passion. She has to be very interested. If you're invested, show me how serious you are. If you are bit, I'll get you the camera, I get you the lights, I get you whatever. If you like, but I think for me, just watching my child, I see that she's leaning towards like medical. She's leaning towards. She's very, very girly girl. Like you can have all the toys, but she's gonna grab the stethoscope. She's gonna grab this. She's gonna grab this. She'll go to my daughter and not my daughter, my wife, and my daughter will go up and with a stethoscope and listen to the stomach. So I think exposure is very key. A lot of the shows that she watches, Doctor was it Doctor Mustafa, Black Little Doctor, she wants to be like that. Now she wants to be like her mother too, right? So she loves a little bit of makeup. She loves this, but to answer your question, whatever she wants to, if she's really truly interested, I would definitely let her do it, but with restrictions, of course, and with supervision, as well as like I do think she understands. I don't think she understands. I know she knows what we do. I don't think she understands what we do because I don't think she respects it. So like she went,
Yeah.
mommy and dad, like let's just say my mother-in-law would say, "Hey, mommy, daddy are recording." She's like, "No, I'm going in the room anyway." Like she understands. Like when you're recording, you gotta
Yeah.
you gotta be a little quiet because we're recording in the background, or you might have to go into the room or something, or you might have to go to grandma's house. But Felicity speaking, I think she does know we do, but doesn't understand what we do. Like I don't like, but I think by the time she's of age, it's going to be so common that it's just, oh, my mom's this, oh, my dad's this, right? And I'm more than just a creator. I'm a founder. I'm by trade, I'm a technical recruiter. So I do a little bit of everything, right? So for me, I'm creative at heart. So I do it all. I do it all.
Thing before I go, because something that you spoke on earlier, and that is you and your wife are both HBCU products, right? Is that something that you would intentionally think you would try to push your daughter towards?
She has no choice.
Really?
There's no option. Absolutely no option. Like no, 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 no. You need. There's like quite literally no option. This is a HBCU house. You only have HBCU options. Now, even in the options, right? So the thing is, it's not like I'm a forcer. I'm going to guide her, right? I'm going to expose her to something that she wants. She's gonna then want it for herself. I think it's more so curating an experience, bringing to her a homecoming, showing my wife, like bringing her to a Delta event, showing her these different type of experiences. I want to be like that. That's what happened to me, right? For me, I knew nothing about HBCU when I growing up. Full transfer. I'm from Queens, New York. Just a little nigga just walking the streets, don't know nothing about college. I got into some trouble, moved in with my uncle in DC, didn't know anything about fraternities, didn't know anything. I seen a cane on his wall, and I seen a big K on his shoulder. I'm like, what is that all about? Right. He started to bring me around these environments. And I'm like, yo, these dudes is cool. They talk like me, they walk like me, they driving fly ass cars. You know what I'm saying? Then he started bringing me homecomings at HBCU. Bruh, I was like, oh, this is lit. Never did he ever tell me to join frat or do anything, but he exposed me to the lifestyle. Exposed me to that, and I was like, yo, this man changed my life. I want to be like him. So I understand from just my personal experience, I understand what I would want to do for my daughter and expose her to. My wife is a pageant girl, right? She's won several pageants throughout her time in her collegiate years, right? We'll expose her to that, right? We'll expose her to band culture. We'll expose her to all of that, and that in our household, we're very big on Black culture, right? We are very big, like Malcolm and Martin type of thing, right? Like it's Black first, respectfully, right? So if she chooses to go to a whatever other school she chooses, that's her decision. But at the end of the day, I'm going to do my best as a father and my wife as a mother and just parents as a whole to curate an environment where it's conducive to be proud to be Black and be nurtured as Black, right? Like, I think there's a difference, right? To be Black, I was Black before HBCU, but to go to an HBCU and graduate is in a completely different experience that I felt like was very pivotal to my growth as a man, as a father, as a husband. So I understood the impact. My wife understands the impact of what it did for her. Proud member of Delta Sigma Theta, right? Proud member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, Epsilon Zeta chapter, the mob. That came from an HBCU. You feel me? And I think an HBCU experience is very rare, right? It's rare because not many people get to experience that because they think, it's less than. But I'm gonna tell you, it's probably the best of the best. And I feel like HBCUs produce the cream of the crop when it comes to, you know, the first of this, the first of that. We could go down a list, but I think we're trailblazers at heart. And this is not to take away any from any other university or anything like that, but I'm talking about Black people. Right? I'm talking about African Americans, and I want to make sure that my daughter can look in the mirror and be proud of who she is and continue want to be the first of something, right? And to break through barriers and trailblaze. So I think holistically, HBCU would be a pivotal part to that.
What were the options though? What are the HBCUs
What
that you said?
I would
You said it's only a few options. What
absolutely,
are they?
I would say, not so I wouldn't even so funny enough, it wouldn't be any of our alma maters. It would be the cream of the crop. And I'm gonna be honest, like all of my
Oh, please say Norfolk ain't the cream of the crop, because I know someone I must say that. No, 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 don't change it now.
Norfolk State is for sure not. No, for one, let me just say this. Norfolk State is the most underrated, one of the most underrated HBCUs of all time. And I feel like the fact that Michael Vick is there, you get to see you're exposed to seeing what that looks like. So now people are building like, oh my God, I never thought that Norfolk was like that. It's like that, respectfully. But I would say that when it comes to the list, it's Howard, Spelman.
Yeah.
I'm talking about historical like
Yeah.
history.
Morehouse,
More,
Howard.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
my more
yeah.
like the core. I'm talking about the Black Ivy, right? Like we can honestly be honest, like not all HBCU, all HBCUs are great, first of all, but there's levels, right? So I
Yeah,
believe that there's a Black Ivy, right? And that's a Howard, that's a Morehouse, that's a Spelman, that's a FAMU, I guess.
yeah. Let us leave it at those three. Let us
Oh,
leave
that
there.
makes sense, but
No, we don't get enough people mad at you with this
those are the
thing enough. Let's just go with those three and let it roll. Because
yeah, that's
I ain't say Fayetteville's one of the three. That's mine.
yeah.
Epsilon Beta.
Okay.
Hey, we do. So before we and the one that I did want to know is you've done so much and you've always talked about how you planned out about everything that you wanted. So my question for you is, what would you want your legacy to be as a father?
Wow. That is a great question. You know what's so crazy? I think about this actually very often, but I never know what it would be, right? I think about what I would want my tombstone to say. It's crazy, right? Like I always like my wife would always be like, yo, you can't always say that or you can't always do that, right? But like I want to be remembered as somebody that tried their best, always did their best, and always said whatever however you felt. You never had to question how you felt. Like I truly believe that I'm not gonna go too deep into that. But another thing is I want to know that if I was gone tomorrow, that I was very passionate about developing others and shortening the learning curve for the people to come after me, right? I'm very big on mentorship, very big on I don't feel like I could ever win unless I see somebody else win, right? I don't ever feel like I'm succeeded until I've made somebody else successful. So I think holistically speaking, I would want my legacy to be that, right? To know that Jeremiah was passionate about shortening the learning curve for the next generation. And, he speaks his mind, so I would say that.
But your legacy as a father.
as a father, I would funny enough, I have that up here somewhere. I wanted my to be a devoted father, right? Didn't matter what it was, if it was cheer, if it was golf, it was I don't care if it was, she was trying to sing and she couldn't. I wanted her to know that I would always, always be there and always be devoted to whatever she had going on, right? Biggest supporter and just a loving, supportive father. Like I think about my dad, right? And I didn't realize it till now. My dad is the most selfless, patient individual of all. And I pray one day I can get just 10% of the level of patience that man has, right? And I want to be like that. If I could do that, I think I'd be successful. If I can gain just 10% of the level of patience that man has, that would be it. To be a devoted father, a patient father, and a loving.
Well, I can say based off of your answer as a father, your father would love to hear that. Because to be honest, my legacy as a father would be I would want my child to speak on me the way you just spoke on your father. So that's great. I mean, that is all you look for. That's all you want. You want to be able to your child to know that whatever it is, I'm always there.
Yeah.
I'm always there. And that a devoted father is a loving father. Someone that's always there, always there to depend on. That's important. That's important.
It's also crazy because never really thought about it like that. Like how important it is to feel that your child says that about you. Out of all the things, I never thought about that. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's just I think that's gonna be if you do good enough, they'll speak about you. And I think for me, it's also because of trauma. Like I never got praise for a lot of things I do, right? So I just never expected that. But that needs to be added to mine too, because I think that is goals for your child to be able to speak about you the way I just spoke about my dad, or even just having to create a safe space for your child to feel comfortable to come around when things are going awry, right? Like when things are going crazy, who do you go to? If I'm the person you call, I've succeeded. I have achieved,
Mhm.
so yes, I agree, man.
Yeah, that's important because look, everybody, social media can say I'm a great dad. Social media can say I'm a horrible dad. The ones that matter, the ones that actually parent. That's what matters most.
Amen to that.
So I appreciate your time, man. And we got to do this. We definitely have to do this again.
Absolutely.
Probably not in a couple years, though. I want to do it after the new baby is here and walking and talking. Like actually, not even fully walking and talking. Just moving around enough that is moving around while the other one is in school too. Like that part,
She's in school now.
that balance.
So
Yeah,
we gonna look.
yeah,
I'm ready. I'm ready. Listen, we gotta run this back, throw this in the calendar. I really had a great time. I'm not gonna lie. AJ, this was dope. This is dope.
yeah.
I think there need to be more spaces like this where you could just talk shop and just rap. Like this was dope. This was really dope.
Actually talk without the buttoned up like bullshit answers, basically. Like,
Yeah.
like the bullshit. Like, come on, we know why. Like, you talked about you know why you wanted to have a daughter, so you didn't want. That's why I didn't want to have a son. You understand? Some things ain't always. Some conversations can be had without a lot of words being said.
Yeah. Yeah.
You understand certain things, and for those people, they'll listen to this episode.
Absolutely. Absolutely. AJ, this was dope, man. Thank you again.
Episode of Just My Baby Daddy podcast. I know you liked what you saw. So what I need for you to do is go back and look at past episodes. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share our YouTube page, Just My Baby Daddy Podcast. And you can follow us on all social media at Just My Baby Daddy Pod.